Welcome to your Need to Know for February 6th, coming to you from Meadow Mill. I'm Amanda, and this is Alan. You can join us here every Tuesday at 12:30 for your weekly news roundup and a discussion of current events. Please feel free to comment and ask us questions in the field below and talk to us about stuff. So, a third Baltimore ceasefire took place this weekend, and this one's being called a resounding success.
Right.
Yes,
resounding success. Okay.
Because nobody died.
That's right. During the third Baltimore ceasefire, there were count them, zero killings around the city for 72 hours and a slew of neighborhood events, according to Baltimore Fishbowl.
All right.
The first ceasefire weekend was held in August of 2017 with the motto of
Nobody kill anybody. Just
That's a good
don't.
one.
Nobody do it.
Since its inception, organizers have been holding public meetings throughout the city to crowdsource ideas that will push city residents to put down their guns and stop killing each other.
Stop it.
It's a great idea.
So this is great. Keep it up, Baltimore. Let's try to
It's
make
a shame we have to come up with ideas like this, but that's the way it is.
Not shooting each other for a weekend for 72 hours. Woo!
Keep it up.
Let's make every day a ceasefire day. So we've got some news items out of Israel.
Construction has begun at the Western Wall for a section for egalitarian prayer. The construction to upgrade the section was to set aside for egalitarian prayer work, which is a budget of more than $7 million, comes after more than a year of a comprehensive plan was approved and more than a half year after the plan was frozen. Mm-hmm. That's Israel for you.
Yes.
Israeli politics, anyway.
Right.
In June, the Israeli cabinet suspended the deal passed in 2016 as a result of negotiations between the reform and conservative movements, the Women Over the Wall, the Jewish Agency for Israel, and the Israeli government. The suspension came after the government's Haredi Orthodox coalition partners pressured Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to scrap the agreement. Israel's Supreme Court, during a four-hour session on the issue of prayer rights for women at the Western Wall, last month indicated the physical upgrades to the section set aside for egalitarian prayer is key to satisfying the government's suspended agreement with the liberal Jewish groups.
So this means that there's going to be an area where both women and men can pray together. They won't be segregated.
Right.
Anyone can pray there, theoretically.
Theoretically. And it looks the money is being spent on it, but it's kind of hard to imagine something like that coming about just because, knowing some of the strong feelings out there, especially on the more traditional side of things.
Right, like they don't even like that there's a women's section, right?
No, I think they're okay that there's a women's section that women should get a right to right to prayer, you know. But the mixed part of it is
it's a problem.
Right.
All right. Well, we'll see how that goes. Good luck, everyone. So,
right.
if you're just joining us, this is Jay Moore's Need to Know on Facebook Live. Share, like, and follow at #Jay Moore Need to Know. This is a totally strange item that I can't wrap my brain around. It's so weird.
Well, it turns out that Russian President Vladimir Putin is now the proud owner of 1.5-bedroom apartment in downtown Tel Aviv.
I wish I was. Someone should leave me a one-bedroom apartment in Tel Aviv. I'd be happy to have that.
Not too shabby.
No.
He inherited the apartment from his former high school German teacher, Mina Yutskaya Berliner, who died in December at the age of 96, according to Ynet.
Interesting.
Berliner left the apartment to Putin via the Russian embassy.
Okay.
It was Putin, in fact, who bought the apartment for her in 2005. Wow, the plot thickens. Mm-hmm. According to Ynet, Putin and his teacher were reunited in 2005 when the Russian president visited Israel.
All right.
Shortly after that meeting, Berliner began receiving gifts from the Russian president, a watch, and Putin's autographed 2000 biography.
Because she was dying to read that.
Aren't we all?
She could have just gone to the library, I guess, but that's all right. She's got a special copy.
Then an employee of the Russian government showed up at her doorstep and took her to see some apartments in the center of Tel Aviv, she told Ynet. I told him all I needed was a flat that would be near the bus station, the market, and to Kupalat Holim, she told Ynet in an interview about 3 years ago, using the Hebrew term for a health maintenance organization. Mm-hmm. Putin is a very grateful and decent person,
Sure.
Berliner said.
That's nice to hear.
The Russian embassy sent a representative to her funeral and covered the cost of her burial, according to Ynet. What an amazing story.
What is going on there? What? I'm so okay. So that's just strange on so many levels. He had a German teacher. She lives in Israel.
He's giving her gifts.
There's weird presents.
She's 96 years old.
Somebody shows up and goes house hunting with her. I wish somebody would just walk up to my house and be like, "Come on, Amanda,
nice.
I've got a good neighborhood for you. Let's go."
But who knew? And now Putin has his own place. Nobody knows if he's going to come visit.
he should. I mean, he should hold on to that. Like that could be valuable for him.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
Prime real estate, man. But it kind of gives you hope for the future, doesn't it? I mean,
does it?
Well, shows somewhere in there. There's a mensch,
there's a
nice guy.
modicum of
Yeah.
Maybe, unless there's something else weird happening there.
I mean, imagine having a leader who has a modicum of dignity and decency.
Wow,
Imagine
Alan,
that.
you just went there.
No, I'm not referring to anyone in particular. I don't want to get political.
Oh, no, we don't ever want to get
Never.
political in here. Well, guess what? We don't need to despair because it is time for another Gal Gadot moment of the week. Yes.
We need like special effects here, like
We need
applause
to-
and everything and all that.
So, guess what animated show she's going to appear on?
Which one?
Glenn, do you know?
The
All right.
Simpsons.
Yes.
Beat you to it. Yes, the Israeli actress will voice herself on an upcoming episode of The Simpsons. Gadot will star in an episode titled "Bart's Not Dead," airing during season 30. Gosh,
That's
30 seasons.
That's like almost my whole life.
insane,
No, I'm just
yeah.
kidding. I'm not. I'm older. I'm older than The
Probably
Simpsons.
Glenn's
it might be
entire
Glenn's life.
lifespan.
But
Pretty close.
I do remember in high school, everyone wore Bart Simpson shirts. They were
sure.
I think at some point they finally had to be.
But is anybody still watching
banned.
The Simpsons? Glenn?
I haven't watched
Do
it in
people watch
years.
it?
I don't know. I don't watch network TV.
Oh, sorry.
I
Excuse
don't
us.
know. But we do love The Simpsons anyway,
Of course.
just on principle.
Iconic.
Yes.
Of course. So, yes, Gal Gadot announced her news on Twitter on Tuesday. I grew up watching The Simpsons, and now I get to voice myself in an episode. Stay tuned, she tweeted.
And you know
Very
you've
cool.
arrived once you're on The Simpsons.
yeah.
I mean, you could be the biggest, top-grossing superhero in the world, but you haven't truly arrived until you're on The Simpsons.
I think even like George
Everyone.
Harrison and Paul McCartney.
Bill Clinton, right?
Clinton. I mean, Tom Petty.
Everyone.
Yeah,
That's when you know you're
That's
legit.
when you know you've made it.
All right.
Absolutely.
So, speaking of all those musicians,
Yes.
a couple of weeks ago we had to share the devastating news that Neil Diamond was no longer touring.
Yes.
Now what are we talking about?
Well, now we're talking about Paul Simon. Paul Simon says he is going to stop touring, save for the, quote, occasional performance for charity. I've often wondered what it would feel like to reach the point where I'd consider bringing my performing career to a natural end. Now I know it feels a little unsettling, a touch exhilarating, and something of a relief, the Jewish songwriter said in a statement on Monday. Simon, 76, noted that the death of his longtime guitarist, Vincent Nuguni, last year contributed to his decision, along with the amount of time he spends away from his family during a tour. His upcoming Homeward Bound tour, which will span the nearly 30 dates across the United States and Europe this year, will be his last tour. So yeah, that's big news.
Yeah, I'm sad. You saw him recently.
I did. I saw him in August at Merriweather, and he was phenomenal. And I have to say, I wasn't. He's Paul Simon, so it'd be exciting to see him. But I wasn't expecting much because he's a 75-year-old man, and he's never been the most lively of entertainers, just a great songwriter. But he put on a fabulous show. I mean, he was moving like a kid, and you could see he was having a lot of fun. He was joking. He was not taciturn or boring at all. He was great, and people there loved it. So I would definitely recommend anybody if you get to see him. And of course, he's a legend. He's iconic.
He's a legend. I had my phase when I had to have all the Simon and Garfunkel albums and listen to them and know all the songs and play them all the time. I had that phase. You might remember this, but when we worked at that other place many, many moons ago,
That other Jewish publication.
that one, Art Garfunkel sang to me. Because
right.
It was during his phase when he was walking across the world.
Right.
And
right.
I guess he happened to be walking through town. I don't know. But
I know he was at Bet the Villa at one point. He performed there.
So maybe it was for that. But it was my birthday. And I think I mentioned it to him. And he sang happy birthday to me.
Did you record it?
No. I
sold it on eBay.
I might have at the time. But I don't have the.
I mean, how many people can say that Art Garfunkel sang to them?
A handful. Yeah. Me. I can.
And he's known to be a little bit of a prickly character. So
he loved me. We got along swimmingly, me and Artie.
You touched his heart somehow.
Well, also, so this is just an aside, a little tidbit.
Yeah.
But my dad went to Hebrew school with both Simon and Garfunkel.
Wow.
Yes.
To Hebrew school?
Hebrew school.
Wow.
And do you know who else my dad went to Hebrew school with? And then I'll give you a hint. You can see if you know who it is.
Okay.
Ralphie Lipschitz. Do you know who Ralphie Lipschitz is?
Ralph Lauren.
Yep.
I'm
Sure
ashamed
enough.
to say I know that.
He doesn't. He sort of tries to hide his.
Does he?
Well, I don't know.
I thought everybody knows it.
He's not
It's on Wikipedia. So.
Oh, is it? All right. There's some sort of
Everything
bio.
is.
There's a bio about Ralphie Lipschitz, and they called my dad for like some quotes or
Wow.
something. I know. So whatever.
There's been some bios about Paul Simon. I'm surprised your
Nobody
dad
called my
didn't get
dad
a
about that one.
call.
I don't know.
Paul Simon can be a tough customer at times, according to his bios. Yeah, he's not. He's done some things here and there, haven't we all?
I think I would consider going to the Homeward Bound tour.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing, a lion during the last stage of his career.
Yeah,
it would be really cool.
I
to
would
see.
be sad, I think, if I missed out on that.
Yeah.
So I
But
should try.
He was great at Merriweather, and so was Sarah McLachlan, who was his opener. And I wish they would have come together and performed together. That would have been really cool. But he had a great band. He played a lot of Graceland, and he played a lot of his early hits from the S&G days and in his early career. So I would recommend it.
All right.
While you can.
I'm listening to you. I hear you.
Okay.
All right.
I don't
So
know if he's not coming here, though. Is he
I don't
coming
know.
to
I
Belmont?
haven't seen
don't
the
know.
dates at all.
We'll have to look.
I have to check that out. All right. Obviously, everyone knows the Winter Olympics in South Korea begin this week.
That's right.
Are you a Winter Olympics fan?
A little bit. I watched some of it, but I can't pretend that I watch every luge meet. And
Whenever the Olympics are on, I like to just keep the TV on. I like to see everything. You never know what you're going to catch. Some flip
True.
over or some face plant it's exciting.
Right.
I'm waiting. Like I love in
skiing
summer.
is exciting.
Yeah, the skiing is great. The ski jumping.
People want to see if Lindsey Vonn comes back and reclaims her glory, right?
All right, so
Okay.
the opening ceremonies are February 9th at 8, and the event runs through February 25th. 4 new events have been added. Glenn, do you know about this? Do you care?
There's more snowboarding.
Yes, there's something called Big Air Snowboarding.
What is that, Glenn?
I have no idea.
Big air?
Big Air. They got to get some air. They go up
Okay.
high or something.
Okay.
Mixed curling.
Correct. Wow, Glenn's
Wow.
good at this game. Mixed
You really are a
doubles.
sports guy.
Mixed doubles curling. Then there's freestyle skiing, which looks like this. That's the one I'll medal in. It's like, no, I don't know what that looks like, but that's what I think. It's like me going down a hill.
Right.
And then there's mass start speed skating, which I don't really understand what that means. I love the speed skating. I used to dream of being a speed skater, but like, where do you buy pants? Because your thighs are like, they're insane. I don't know how they get pants. They have to wear a lot of
You're saying
Under
they're not
Armour.
flattering.
Well, they just have the crazy strong thighs that are like.
Yeah.
All right, so that's happening.
Okay.
The athletes compete in 7 sports total and 15 varied disciplines. The 7 sports are biathlon, bobsleigh, which I would call bobsled, but maybe that's just me. Curling, ice hockey,
It was a
luge,
PC term, bobsleigh. instead of
bobsleigh.
bobsled.
Right, it's not gender
Right.
specific. Skating and skiing. So, who knows where the 2020 Summer Games are?
Dundalk.
Correct. Wrong. Dundalk missed their bid.
man.
Tokyo.
Okay.
Who knows where the 2022 Winter Games are?
Pikesville?
Also correct, but no, not really. Beijing beat them out.
Okay.
And actually, I saw the bird's nest when I was in Beijing that they used at the last Olympics that they had. And it's cool. It's a really cool facility. I find it weird to be having all these Olympics in these politically strife-ridden places because there was something going on in South Korea today.
A lot of diarrhea.
Yeah. So I think,
A lot of vomiting.
I think there was like a
What's going on over there? Someone got poisoned
or
the
something.
North
yeah.
Koreans are up to their hijinks?
Something bad's
Something
going
weird's
on.
going on.
All right, just give us a J word so we can get out of here.
Okay. Well, the J word of the day is ungeblasen.
Ungeblasen.
Yeah, it's
Love
fun,
it.
it's fun to say.
It's a good one.
Try it, Glenn.
Unga Blaz.
He likes it too. It
Sounds like-
sounds right coming out of his
Yeah.
face.
It sounds like the start of that Def Leppard song, doesn't it?
Ungeblasen or Ozzy. Ungeblasen. All right, go ahead.
And what does it mean? It's a Yiddish word and it means conceited or narcissistic. Usage. The president must be very ungeblasen to think that the Democrats think that are being treasonous by not smiling during his State of the Union address.
Also, Putin is pretty ungeblasen
Yes,
while
he
we're
is.
on the topic.
Yes, he is.
All right. So that's going to be it for today. Remember, join us here Tuesdays at 12:30 for your Need to Know News Roundup. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and follow at hashtag #JMoreNeedToKnow. Go to jmoreliving.com for more news updates. Do not panic.
Yes, it's just snow.
Stay the cut.
Just ice.
Oh, I meant because of the stock market, but also
Oh.
also the ice.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the
Don't
ice.
panic about anything, people.
People care more about that than the stock market.
All right, bye.
Bye.